Incremental readings. Let's continue the advantages of incremental reading. Now it's turn for the efficient prioritization. It's a very high level perspective. No worries, I won't be into details how to do it in Supermemo. Then we have the challenge. We have an information overload. We have more stuff to read that we can never remember. Then incremental reading lets you set priorities for whatever you want to import. Articles, paragraphs, sentences, questions, tweets, books, textbooks, videos, podcasts, whatever you want that can be processed with information. So, more poetically, in a sea of information, prioritization is the lifeboat that keeps knowledge afloat. Nice. So then we have the dynamic prioritization. You read the introduction, then you decide if you want to read more or not. Oh, that's not what I thought, right? Based on the title, I assume this, or who recommended me this, I trusted him, but okay, I then understand, but it's way too technical for math, not my thing. So perhaps I will just postpone it. Postponing will modify the priority. Or I can just modify the priority directly. So what I do is that if the article is valuable, I will process it now. Or even if it's valuable, but I don't have the required knowledge, I will delete it, import it later, or I will just let it linger. So that, just go to oblivion in my collection, and perhaps I will search for it in some years. As you read, you can continuously adjust priorities. At every single repetition, you should rethink the priority, check the priority. Is this reflecting what it is? If not, take action. Priorities shift with new insights. Flexibility ensures no time is wasted. Sometimes I thought, hey, this is a very high priority. Let me put, let's say, 5%. But as I read, I discover some other stuff. And oh wow, it led me to other things that I didn't even knew the existence of it. And something I will not have searched. Now that I see it, this is even higher priority than what I wanted to read originally. So as a consequence, the original gets a lower priority. Even if I don't change it, just because I imported more stuff of higher priority in my collection, as a consequence, everything in the queue gets the positions down. Let's say I have 10. I import an 11th element, but it's the second one. That means that only the first will be untouched, and all of the others will shift one position down. So it's not just how I prioritize now this, is that prioritizing this, I'm also affecting others. Then, maximizing reading value. Important pieces of information receive deeper processing. You invest most of your time on high priority stuff. Material overflow or information overflow affects lower priority content more. Exactly. That I have more articles that, it's not that, let's say, in the 50%, that I see that my priority protection is 50%. So I see half the collection, and half of the collection is perpetually postponed. No, it's uneven, a lot more uneven than that. So most of my material is being neglected because the priority is not enough. My time is limited. That doesn't mean it's something bad. It's the opposite. So I'm optimizing my time to get the most value possible from it because it's shorter than the time required to go through my entire collection. So the top priority items, flashcards, always get the attention they deserve. And the low priority items, they don't. So if you forget the low priority items, it is what it is, are the lowest priority items. When knowledge is weighted by value, the gold always rises to the top. Exactly. Then how priorities evolve. We have seen the priorities are dynamic already, but they also evolve with time. So priorities updates automatically when generating extracts from articles. Exactly. Or close deletions. So I'm signaling Supermemo, hey, there's something in this article that I want to keep with an extract. So Supermemo interprets this as, hey, let's increase the priority here. Behind the curtains. Then, if I make a clausulation, I'm signaling Supermemo, hey, there's something that I want to remember from this extract. This also increases the priority. And the priority increase, it's different each time, depending on the actual priority. Meaning, the higher the priority, the less increase there is. There's a less margin to grow. If the starting priority is very low, the jump of the priority increase will tend to be higher. Then, delaying or advanced reading also affects the priority. If I postpone this, it will affect the priority. And if I do the opposite, which could be rare, that I advance the date, so to the future, to the most recent date, so I do the repetitions ahead of time, this will also affect the priority. Question and answers inherit priority from the parent extracts, yeah, and clausulations. So when you create a clausulation with Ctrl-Z, inherits the priority of the parent. That's why, if you don't do priorities, you don't set the priorities, everything is random. So imagine, if I do a clausulation, I inherit the priority of the parent, and the parent shifts its priority at the same time, without me as a user setting any priority explicitly, which I can also do, by the way. So, information is alive. Its value matters with each discovery, reshaping our focus. Prioritization is key. If I had to choose one single skill in incremental reading, that will be priorities. If you neglect everything else and you only do priorities, it's the biggest win. With the priorities, there's no incremental reading. Then, tools for shifting focus. Multiple prioritization tools help handle major changes in learning goals. Always know your current focus in numbers. So could say I have this on record that, hey, my health concept group is from 0 to 65%, meaning that there's no single element in that concept group below 65% priority range. Even the least important material of that concept goes to 65. That's quite a lot, meaning my priority protection is less than 5%. So most of this range doesn't fall in my priority protection either. But just to let you know that almost a third of the collection, the lowest priority, there's nothing about health. Because for me, health is about being able to apply that in my life. So when your goals change, let your priorities move with them. Adaptation breeds mastery. And this is what I did as well. That, hey, I have been doing a lot of linguistics now. Then I realized that, okay, it could be pleasurable to go and deep that, but it doesn't help me with language learning at all, as I thought. Hey, let me deprioritize that, because now that's not my goal, because my goal is to learn a language, not linguistics. I will still keep linguistics, but much lower priority. And could be that I don't see, and this is what happens. In a year, I don't see almost anything about linguistics. Golden knowledge. Incremental reading is about fishing for those essential golden nuggets of wisdom. The highest value first. And then the rest are diminishing returns. Dynamic, ongoing prioritization ensures nothing critical slips through. Yeah. So imagine you are a filter of golden nuggets, and since you're human, you may miss one there, one here and one there. But since it's dynamic and ongoing, if you miss it the first repetition, you will see it on the second. More or less, that's the idea, that most of the value is seen first. Could be that, oh wow, I overlooked this, or I thought that was not important, and happens to be a golden nugget in disguise, whatever. Most of the value first, then diminishing returns. That's the idea. Sit through the information stream. Treasure awaits the patient and the prepared. Ah, so poetic. I like it. Keep in mind, all of these quotes are AI generated. So sometimes it's the first time that or second time that I read it. And sometimes I have done this non-incremental. So that has been sitting for a month. So I actually forgot the phrasing. So it's like novel for me. Sits through the information stream and treasure awaits to the patient and the prepared. Oh, such a good way to put it. So as long as you do incremental ordering with priorities, you just wait for fishing the golden nugget. That's it. And then you will push the trash, the dirt from the gold. How? Setting lower priorities. Conclusion to wrap up the video. Prioritization is the core to incremental ordering power. The core. Number one, there is nothing more important than priorities in incremental ordering. By focusing on the most valuable information first, you get most of your. By focusing on most valuable information first, you get the most out of your learning time. Exactly. You maximize that. Hey, you have this limitation of time. You get the maximum value out of it, whatever that is. If you had more time, you will invest time on the more kind of diminishing returns already. Then, when knowledge is mined, refined, and prioritized, it shines as wisdom. See you incrementally.